Hello, Star Lovelies. It's a great time to be a soul. Today we're talking about if you've ever felt disillusioned with the coaching industry lately, you're not alone. Something big is breaking down, and that's exactly what's making space for something better to rise. This is your future trend for Visionary Rebel. The coaching industry is cracking. Here's what's next. This is the third episode in this series. And I am Kim Woods, your soul strategist and cosmic business guide. And today we're talking about one of the biggest shifts in the personal development world, the coaching industry. It's being dismantled, but mentorship empires are rising in its place. So if you've ever felt the coaching world has lost its magic, you're not wrong. The frameworks feel hollow, the funnels feel forced, and the breakthroughs feel scripted. This isn't burnout. This is the collapse of the industry. And so today I'm going to warn you, I'm going to ruffle some feathers. I'm going to speak some radical truth because this matters. Let's just call this what it is. The current coaching model is oversaturated, it's energetically misaligned, and it's often unrounded. And here's what's falling apart: the high ticket hype without real transformation, the mindset only solutions for complex and nuanced clients, the coaches coaching coaches, the burnout behind the scenes and also in the clients, and the customers who no longer trust the promise of just one more program. So here's the thing. The bottom line is coaching is no longer the safe bet for growth as it once was. So for the past 15 years, the coaching industry has sold, I'm going to just say, a bill of goods. Follow this XYZ step framework. Use this, I'm going to do air quotes, proven script. Push clients through a breakthrough on your own timeline, not theirs. And charge high ticket and scale to 7 figures overnight. Oh, it's simple. Just follow my 1, 2, 3. Here's what I did. Here's the thing. This has made coaching become a product, and it's lost its relationship capacity. It started mimicking MLM structures and manipulative marketing, like the pain point persuasion, the false scarcity and the fake urgency, the cookie cutterness of the funnels and emails and the scripts and the pitching and the things, models, methods that are not based on your soul. It's based on the fire and the ignition. And so it's a constant burnout. And so this model rewards performance, not presence. It doesn't make space for that nuance or that complexity or actual results. It doesn't even leave space for you. And this is one of my biggest pet peeves. Coaching in its modern form often stops at accountability and mindset. What doesn't it do? It doesn't diagnose real problems. It doesn't design strategic or individualized solutions. And it doesn't have any roll up your sleeves and let's build this together approach. It's not a mentorship. It's a performance management with a personal brand. And so I am just going to go into the stars because you know what? I could go on a diatribe and I'm going to hold myself back right now. Let me go into the stars first. Let's just do the proper formatting of this and then I'll dive right in. I can stand on a table and paint myself blue around this. But the stars want to speak. So because Pluto in Aquarius, you've heard me talk about the 2024, the 2044 timeline. You've heard me all talk about all how, Pluto is a disruptor and it breaks down all the structures and everything. And this is true with this too. It's obliterating the top-down knowledge structures too. So we're just redistributing power from those quote unquote guru or expert or, look at me, this is my model. And so therefore you follow my model approach. And it's giving more sovereignty and more collaborations to small communities and intimate groups and even intimate masterminds and more sovereignty to you, which is wonderful. And it's allowing us to value energetic alignment over status or those scripting of sales or those funnels. Let's wrap in the rest of the stars here. Neptune in Aries. You've also heard me mention that this is from 2025 to 2039. And it's talking about stop pretending and start integrating. And this is really true with Saturn over the next 3 years. So we've got that beautiful way of being able to embody and embrace and take action and make things real. So the demand here, because Saturn is very demanding. Let's be clear, Neptune is not demanding. Aries is demanding and Saturn is demanding. So they're putting Neptune in the middle of them and making the demands. And that's your soul identity needs to match your public persona. You know, those fake, I'm going to give you the behind the scenes, or just because I'm not wearing makeup, then everything's real. That's just BS. You know, if you look at some of the, okay, you guys watch one of my reels versus watching somebody's reel that's really edited. They're edited to the 9th degree. You get me and my stumbles and my fumbles, and I'm probably too close to the camera, and well, who cares? I don't have time. I'm running an actual business. Like, I don't actually have time. I take care of my clients first. I take care of my team. I take care of myself. That's my inner layer. Then I take care of my prospects. Then I take care of my, my high end, like in high value followers and whatever. Like, I have a whole rhythm and ring. I don't have time. By the time I get to the social media world, I'm out. I've got 3.5 minutes if I have any time at all. And who cares? Right. So not great to build brand awareness from a social media perspective, but my job isn't to do that. My job is to channel the voice of your soul. My job is to ensure that you're aligned with your soul mission. And in doing that, it beautifully takes me a 90% capacity. So if you think about things through that lens, the people that are actually doing the work, rolling up the sleeves, working with their clients, having a successful business, they don't have the time to be giving those fake stories of those, whatever, I or not, right? Like it still has to be based in something. And this is what I know where I am. I'm still in the Neptune and Aries, because Neptune is like, wait, what's fake and what's real? So that's the part of that. That's really awesome. So there's no more hiding behind that performative presence. There's no more hiding behind even some brand authority that you built, which, that's not awesome in some cases. And in other cases, it is really awesome. And there's no more of this like polished messaging without that integrated embodiment. So that's all that Neptune and Aries, and I packed Saturn in there too. Jupiter in Cancer, I am really excited about this, because Jupiter in Gemini has been about more ideas and the louder voice and a little bit more performative. So now that's going to shift to be a really like a resonance of truth. And then we've got the Uranus and Gemini again with that baton handing over from Jupiter, but Uranus is the lightning bolt of truth just in and of himself. So not so much with that. Let's just make it bigger. Let's just make it more. So that Uranus in Gemini from 2025 to 2032 is really disrupting the messaging matrix entirely. In fact, the next episode is going to be about publishing, and the episode after that is going to be about marketing and messaging, because this is such a big energy. It needs to be unpacked in multiple ways. And so think about this. Uranus is disrupting the way that intellectual authority and that traditional education works. And again, I know I'm in the coaching industry, right? So that's the lens that I'm taking. I know better than you, so follow me in my methods. That doesn't really work. This isn't about knowledge. This is about truth. This isn't about more information and learning things. This is about discovering who you are. And so that makes me feel really, really good. And when I say me, I mean your soul. So the soul is singing in the aisles over here. The coaching industry is really being called like feet to the fire. And honestly, when I look at that, I want to unbundle that Jupiter to Uranus Gemini handoff a little bit more, because Jupiter leaves that communication heavy Gemini and goes into that beautiful heartfelt Cancer. And so basically Jupiter is saying like, oh, now it's time to make it real and make it matter. And then when Uranus steps in and takes that baton, he's saying, oh, this is the opportunity to rewire how we speak and we connect and we lead. Because think about it, coaches, even though coaches sometimes set themselves up as not the leader, everybody leads their own initiatives. So even that highest level multi-billion-dollar CEO, when he or she has a coach, that coach is leading that agenda, if you will, that transformation, that stress relief, whatever it is that their model is based on. And it really should be based on who they are and who that person is. Because we want to be shifting towards a model that rewards trust and depth and emotional intelligence. And actually, I'm going to be a little harsh there. I did warn you at the beginning, actually punishes performative power. Because this is where I can go into the salvation of the stars. These trends is shaking the very foundation. And when I look at it from the coaching lens, it's not going to be any more paint by numbers pathway. There's no more scripting, over scripting, funnel filling, of everybody herding people through a pathway that has nothing to do with them. And it's no more mentor worship. Like I always say to my clients, it doesn't matter that I know, it matters that you know. And here, uh, before I start talking about how many people come to me like that have been spending way too much money on coaching, I am just going to take this little mic drop about what is that. It doesn't matter that I know, it matters that you know. I'm an intuitive. When you sit before me, I know I just had a beautiful connection call with somebody who's in one of my networking group with me. Oh my gosh, she's delightful. And she's at a crossroads right now. I didn't sell to her. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just sat with her for half an hour and I just allowed her to be able to sip from what I knew that would be helpful to her. That's exactly what this is about. It doesn't matter that I literally know her business model, what it should be. I know what her new methodology is. I know all those things. This wasn't that. She's not in my container. I have absolutely no right. She just happened to be open. We happened to be talking to things. I downloaded a bunch of stuff. I gave her the inkling of what would be super helpful for her own discovery. Again, who cares if I know? It doesn't have any impact on anything. What if I were to just to like, oh, I'm going to prove to you that I know so many things. Maybe you'll come into my container, maybe you won't. It would have been fire hosing her for no reason, and it could have damaged this beautiful healing modality that's going to land. It's going to be luscious. But I did invite her to continue conversations with me. I invited her to do a podcast interview. I mean, she's someone that's in my world just because, she's supposed to be. But in what capacity? Who even knows? Again, it doesn't matter that I know, it matters that you know. And that's what I mean by that. And so there's so many people, especially in the intuitive space, like I can't tell you how many people try to prove themselves to me on these connection calls. And I'm like, I get so aggravated. Here's the thing. I'm going to glitch you a little bit. If you ever hop on a call with me and I'm super, super nice and it feels like a really luscious call, but then I give her meditation, I send you on your way, it means I never want you in my world. Just fair, right? So any sort of intuitive person that comes in and starts to perform to me by telling me something that I haven't invited them to have a discussion with me about, you're done. This is the coaching industry plus the intuitive aspect of it. I'm getting a little bit clamped here because this is a really big deal. And it maddens me how many people come to me and they've spent way too much money and they've wasted like time and energy and they're burnt out. And people are like, oh my God, in tears, I wish I could work with you, but I can't because I've done this, this, and this. So I give them a little kind of like, okay, here's a trajectory that could work really well with you, or here's an abundance pathway, or here's a way to be in my world that is less, it's less transformative, obviously, but it's also less, of an investment. And this is the way I can serve you right now. But it pisses me off. And it pisses me off because how dare so many people think that they know so much more than they actually do? Because it's not your job as a coach to impress anybody else. It's not your job as a coach to put anybody else on your own time frame. When people come into my world, we work at the sole agenda. And sometimes I have to say to my clients, I know you're really ticked off at me right now because we're not doing things at the speed of light. But this is what your soul wants right now. And as we go into it, as we deepen it, and as I'm gifted with the words to explain exactly where we are and give them a glimpse of where we're going, they settle into it and they're like, oh, So it becomes a safe place to land and where we can open up things in ways that we wouldn't ever be able to open if we were on a different agenda. This is what this is about. Now, granted, I'm not talking about intuitive coaching or soul led leadership in all the cases. But when a coach has your best interest at heart, they're not going to let you become complacent. They're not going to let you, like stay in your comfort zone if they're really good. They're going to press, they're going to give you relief, like they're going to meet you where you are and they're going to let you and this person walk in tandem. Because that's what coaching is walking in tandem. It's this, I've got you, and I'm guiding you. I've got you, I'm mentoring you. I've got you, I'm inspiring you. I've got you, I'm, anchoring for you in some way, shape, or form. That's coaching. Consulting's a whole different thing. Consulting is you're actually solving problems. Consulting is you're actually rolling up your sleeves. Consulting is you are bringing formulas that are unique to that person. You're bringing maybe healing facilitation if it's my case, or you're bringing models in business that will work just for them if it's a more traditional case. That's the difference. So for me, when people will say, oh, you're like a life coach, and I have the cringy face because I'd rather be known as an intuitive consultant, which is why sometimes I'll say I'm an intuitive strategist, because that people can understand. But I'm not just going to sit there and like help make you solve your own stuff. That's annoying AF, right? Like, oh, sure, I know all the answers, but I'm just going to sit here until you come to it yourself. Or I don't know all the answers because I've only done this one certification for coaching and I really don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I'm just going to help you in this one method. Can't wait till all this stuff goes away because it is such a waste of time. Not saying there aren't amazing coaches out there, because there are, but they're usually so booked you can't get in to see them. There are so many that aren't. This is the model that I know, and you need to conform to fit into that. Sorry, diatribe over. Yeah, I can't. Oof. Anyway, okay. I know I was on the stars. I'm sorry. I did go on that diatribe, didn't I? So let's talk about a little bit like this energetic storm. It's like this perfect storm that's arising through the stars. And so the good news is if you are feeling disillusioned or burned out or ready for something deeper, this is perfect. You're right in time, right? So yay. Because what's replacing the coaching industry? It's the rise of the mentorship ecosystem, where it is, if we want to say soul first or intuitively based or you first, that's a beautiful way to say it. It's strategy backed and it's unique frameworks for you. So it isn't a one size fits all. It isn't even a one size fits many. It's a one size fits one. Then it's built for depth and sustainability and energetic congruence. So you're going to be aligned in the right timing, in the right, receiving of the information and be, I don't want to say held, but that's exactly the word that's coming to me. What about certification and channeling as another opportunity? So leaders codifying their wisdom and then licensing it, not the way that it's happening right now, where it's like, oh, I've got an offer, I'm going to go license it. Half the time I look at the offers and I'm like, first of all, they're outdated. They don't include, there's one that I'm thinking about, doesn't include anything to do with AI. That doesn't work because AI is here to stay. Doesn't include anything to do with SEO. You can kind of guess where I am in this, this client is. I'm like, no, okay, that we don't want to codify something that isn't going to grow. And we don't want to codify something that could be based on your work, but it really isn't based on you. If you're working with me, you're on that bleeding edge. So we want to make sure that you stay on the edge in a beautiful way, in a sharpened way. Also, this certified in coaching is going to be intuitive and it's going to be with AI enhanced models, meeting people where they are and helping them get to that next step. What about micro niching, micro offering, and personalized delivery? So there's value in the short term. There's really beautiful aligned experiences. And then what about the mentor brand ecosystem that's involved with like books or podcasts and quizzes or assessments or beautifully content rich series that are like, delicious that you're like, I can't get enough of this, or beautiful like intimate retreats. So this isn't about leaving coaching. This is about evolving it because we're ready for that deeper, that anchored, that cyclic, that beautiful connective tissue to be built in with this. So if I go in and I talk about just more examples, not just me going on a diatribe, but like just give you some more stories so you can just picture it in your mind. So imagine a client came to me, she was a coach. She was burned out, and but she didn't know she was burned out. Honestly, I think it was pre-pandemic, and she was like, "Okay, I'm doing these things. I've got like 3 different methods that I'm doing. I really like all of them." But I could see her. She had a young family at home. She didn't know it then, but she was gonna get pregnant again. And I was like, "Huh, this isn't gonna work. How can we build something lasting for her?" And it didn't mean that the coaching industry needed to die at this time. It just means that she was out of alignment with herself. She was burned out. So we then looked at her offerings and we were able to, beautifully weave 2 or 3 together, and we were able to have her show up much less frequency and build in some space. So she didn't want the kind of like that rhythmic, like, "Oh, I'm gonna meet with you every month. I'm gonna meet with you every other week," or whatever. That didn't actually serve her. She wanted this little snapshot of an intense kind of start, and then she wanted like a long breath, and then she wanted another little check-in. That's exactly what we built because it was perfect for her. And oh, by the way, it was perfect for her growing family. Another time, like, there's where someone is, in that range of I'm coaching, but the person had just gotten the certification. This also was a handful of years ago. I don't know why all of these came up and they were like 6 years ago. And yet I watched her and I talked to her and I kind of checked her out online. She didn't have a huge online presence, but she had some of one. And then I asked her, I was like, okay, after the first session we had, I was like, wait a minute, let me just, I'm feeling like everything's out of alignment, but I couldn't really figure out why. Of course, we did her soul thing. We did all that, but I was like, something's still not right. And what it was just the moniker of the fact that yes, she got the coaching certification. I wish she didn't. She didn't need it at all. She was like a consultant through and through. Like, she actually rolled up her sleeves. She loved doing like done for you things. She loved that because it gave her some space in between meetings. She was, I didn't have the quiz then, but if I did, she would have been a wise strategist. She loved to do that research and she loved to put everything together and then present it and then deliver it. So it was very much, we didn't actually go into the T&M model because that's time and materials. That's a full consulting thing. We just came up with a package that gave her enough space. Again, these are 2 different people and they're 2 wildly different solutions, but they have that same feel of, wow, they needed a whole different rhythm with it. You can have a little snippet, like a little microcosm of a snippet, and then have the longer containers. And you don't have to do one or the other with people. You can be customized for what their needs are. Because remember, if you're in the coaching or consulting industry, you're serving them. They're not serving you. Oh, I probably have like 20 more examples of this. But another one was that this person came to me. This was in the intuitive space, and this was a little bit more recent, but not much. I'm probably circa 2020 at this point. And she was, certified. And I'm just going to make this up. It wasn't Reiki, but it was like, "Oh, I'm a Reiki master." And I'm like, "Bleh." And she had her own healing modality, but she wanted to, kind of license a program with, this person that was offering for it. And it wasn't Reiki master because, that wouldn't really work. But it was something like that. The modality was something like that. And I'm watching her, I'm looking at her energy. I'm like, "Oh, you are so much more than this. You are just so much more than this and so different than this." And so I helped her open up her own healing modality. It helped her energetically recognize what it was. This is something I do. And just really own it. We practiced and we did all the things. And she's like, "Huh." And I said, "Now, if you wanted to certify something, this is exactly what you would certify." So that's what I mean. Like, it's not that the every single thing within a coaching industry is going to go away. There will still be certification and licensing. There still will be consulting models. There still will be coaching methods and frameworks. They're just not going to be this one size fits all, this my way highway kind of thing. That's not helpful at all because we're not coaching anymore. We're based on our own experience and our own genius. We are developing these beautiful frameworks of mentorship and guidance. And that is with a different tempo and with a different pace and with a different, like, sometimes it's super deep and sometimes it's super light and sometimes it's with a small group and sometimes it's one-on-one. It's very changeable because we are humans and we like the stability, but we also like to flex. So what do we want to let go of? We want to let go of rigid frameworks. We want to let go of coaching scripts. We want to let go of forcing clients breakthroughs to prove your own value. That's not helpful at all. We want to get rid of marketing that triggers trauma, like all these pain points that we always bring up, like I will tell you, I would have a much higher client roster up until this point if I did them. And I toe dip in them every once in a while. And I'm like, hate it. You'll see a few messages come out like that. And then you're like, yep, that goes away. I just can't stand it. Does it get attention? Yes, but I can't stand adding to that energy. And there's a false urgency all the time and overselling the vibe and under delivering results. Let's get rid of that. And also, let's get rid of this mindset and accountability. It like literally, I'm holding my hands up to my head. I've been saying this. This is like one of those things I stand up on the table and plate myself blue on. Mindset only gets you to the throat chakra. If we're not working on that connection, on that power, on that bringing the energy down and then bringing it even further down to the creation in those lower chakras, you're not going to actually manifest what you want. It's not going to last. Well, for some people, coaching just want to, some coaches want to just ring the cash register and they're not actually really psyched about you leaving the container. They want to just keep ringing. When I first started consulting in my traditional business firm, even at Oracle, I would say, end a job. I would be literally like, end a job. When are we going to get to end a job? What are we going to do? Yes, you're a multi-million-dollar client for us. End a job. Because if I don't get you to end a job, I don't have any success stories. If I don't get you to end a job, I can't, especially with my team at Oracle, I couldn't actually give them something new to work on. And if they didn't have anything new to work on, they were going to leave. You're the same way. If you don't have anything new to work on, if you don't have something that is opening you up and inspiring you and motivating you and making and helping you grow, then you're going to become stagnant and then therefore your clients are going to be stagnant. That helps no one. What if we build instead like strategic solutions that are tailored to each specific person's energy in their business? Deep mentorship models that have relationship and energetic integrity, multidimensional offers that have that strategy and have those tasks and have those lists. And I'm just getting out of my own world because I want to say ritual and activation, though that's not for everybody, right? But like that have different things in them. So they have a different, you're going to do exercises over here, then you're going to do journaling over here, and then maybe you're going to go do some movement over here, and then you're going to come back to the space. That just differences just to give you some variety. And what about back-end systems that support transformation and not just transaction? And ethical pricing based on the value and the results you get, not just based on ego. So I had a client that came to me. She was brand new last summer, and she's like, I'm going to raise my prices. And I looked at her and I said, why? Well, because I should raise my prices. I'm like, why? Do you have a bunch of people? Do you have a wait list? Do you have way too many people working with you? No, I need clients. Do you have an offering that you've just scaled up from a value perspective that you're offering so much more? Are you paying your team so much more? What are you doing? No, it was just based on its time. No. And as a matter of fact, she needed to lower her offer. So no, because the value that you perceived was not the value that your clients perceived. And so if that's mismatched, that's not going to do anybody any good. I don't care if you've been doing something for 2 months or 27 years. You need to be wearing your value. And when you wear your value and your clients are attuned to that, that's the value statement. Um, Ask yourself if you're in this coaching world at all, way, shape, or form. So that's anybody in service providing that isn't, oh, I'm building the system for you. I'm in tech, I'm in marketing, I'm in, investments or something like that. But you're doing you're helping your clients make decisions. You're helping your clients find their way. You're helping your clients with some sort of education or guidance or motivation. Then you're in the coaching industry. No matter what name that you have, you're in the coaching industry. And as a client, think about this, right? So where are you overcoaching or being overcoached instead of co-creating? Is your offer or the offer that's being presented to you, is it aligned with your soul? Does it give you chills or goosebumps? Does your heart open and expand? Does your body sigh? Or is it just industry aligned? And then as a coach, am I solving problems? Or am I selling a promise or a possibility? As an intuitive visionary, there's always that, oh my goodness, the promise, the possibility, the result, that's beautiful. But what are the actual real-time results that you're getting or you get for others? Those matter. So think of your favorite client results, either as the client or a client that you have. Name exactly how you got them there or how somebody got you there. What was it that really worked? I know for me, my formula does start with mindset. We have to open up the mind. I give you lots of mind candy, but then I'm going into the heart. I'm going into the energy. I'm activating your soul and I'm setting strategy for you. So whatever your true method is, it most likely doesn't fit into a box. We're beyond boxes now. You want to honor your true method. You want to refine it and you want to lead with it. So let's just go into those intuitive success signatures and let's go into the tips for you from a coaching perspective. Again, this is either you coaching or you being coached. If you haven't taken that 12-question quiz yet, go to your starmaptosuccess.com, answer the 12 questions, get your result for your signature. Make sure you whitelist my email, kim@kimwoods.com, because I'm just going to send you awesomeness. That's literally what happens in my world. I'm just going to send you awesomeness. I think I tell you about an outdated formula right now. We're switching that. It's going to be a 6 weeks accelerator. There's one soft email about that. The rest of it are just tips. So remember, we're not here to salvage an industry that no longer works. We're here to build a new one. And we can do that either by being the leaders in the coaching industry or the leaders as clients. So for you, wise strategist, you do build tailored systems that honor uniqueness over templates. So codify your genius in either a certification or a license or a methodology. You hesitate to do that usually, but you're the 1-2 person that should absolutely be doing this. And then why is it so important for you, wise strategists? Because while others build businesses, based on just the business model themselves, you build business based on your brilliance. Think about how many times you go back and make sure it works and make sure it works and make sure it works. So you codifying makes sense. For you, intuitive visionary, you download new frameworks that serve the evolution. So continue to break the mold. You are the oracle that creates future forward delivery models and content flows. So stay on that leading edge, be the front runner, and then make sure you have others. If there is a methodology you want to build behind it, there is a structure, is a framework that you want to put in, it's going to be a high level kind of overview, like milestones or something, versus every single step, because you don't even want to work that way. For you, Collaborative Explorer, you can create safe containers for growth and shared learning. Launch a mentorship circle or a co-led group. Your strength is in that relational transformation. For you, ruling warrior, burn down the broken models. Let's go. Do it with clarity. Do it with courage. Boldly lead your clients through this fiery change. Then you want to model, as in role model, what it means to pivot powerfully. You're going to be the one that's going to be disrupting from the client side too. I adore that. Creative superstar, you create new brand experiences and root them in truth to build your brand empire. You want to be in front of the camera, doing reels, in front of the microphone, doing podcasts. You want to have some visual content. You want to have beautiful design. You want to actually have your offerings be as beautiful as your messaging, that's beautiful as the work that you do with people. Have it flow right through. And then for you, loving alchemist, you nurture deep, deep, deep trust, and you help people belong and you help them make them feel safe. So create sacred space in every single one of your touch points, because even those followers or those prospects or those leads or those clients, they want to feel safety. They want to feel seen, and they want to be able to be deeply transformed. And so, just as a wrap up, the coaching industry is changing, and it's changing fast. Let's not fight the collapse. Let's recognize that it's happening, and let's lead the rebuild. And as a bonus, I mentioned it before because I've got a beautiful new era accelerator that's been redesigned based on all this work I've been doing in the stars, where it is a 6-week snapshot. I've never, ever offered a 6-week snapshot because they've never been able to be integrated. But now, with the stars moving as fast as they are able to be integrated. Hence, I have one. So we're going to go ahead. It's going to kick off on July 16th as the first one. It's one of a kind. It's the first time I've delivered it. It's all based on soul strategy. It puts you first and it gets you ready to lead in the new era. And I'm so excited about it. So in the next episode, we're going to explore how publishing is being reclaimed by we and visionary rebels. And it's really that your book, like if you have a book inside of you, but think of your book as a movement, as a portal, as an evolution or a revolution instead of a product. I always talk about the living book, and we're going to talk about that next time. That's a little hint. So until next time, let's lead with presence, let's create with depth, and let's mentor with soul. As always, thank you so much for listening and rating and reviewing and sharing with friends. And until next time, happy soul tidings. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more ways to use the stars strategically to align with your soul purpose, reclaim your power, and increase your prosperity. Please rate and review your favorite episodes, and remember to check out my website at kimwoods.com for my latest forecasts, articles, and offerings. To find out your intuitive success signature, take my 12-question Do You Know, Like, and Trust Yourself quiz and find out how you're living your stars at yourstarmaptosuccess.com. I've so enjoyed our time together, as it's filled with the power of the stars plus strategy to clear the pathway to your success. Until next time, happy soul tidings.